Professor Francesco Romagnoli from Riga Technical University. I would like to briefly have an overview together with you about how we organize this second face-to-face event here in Latvia within the framework of Sweda project. As I mentioned, this is already the second face-to-face event of Sweda project, as is aiming to bring students from the three main partner countries, Germany, Latvia and Italy, in all the places which belongs from the partnership. Here in Riga we decided to organize the event taking into account an important part to site visit, showing students what are maybe new ideas within the agro-farming sector here in Latvia. And the second part was mostly related to have a co-creation event in terms of sort of role game to briefly define potential study group that has to sell an innovative technology to potential investors. I would like maybe now to say something more about the agenda, how it was organized. The face-to-face event was organized towards 5 days plus 2 days of traveling. We have 2 days of site visit. The first site visit was just after the arrival of the student in a really interesting and I would say novel management of farming here in Latvia. The name of the farm is Nornieki, not so far from one of the most beautiful cities of Latvia, Riga. And the idea of the farm was to somehow create a new animal farming, and in this specific case they start to open activity about ostriches, which is quite a challenging and new animal growth here in Latvia. And together with this they kind develop food let's say business together with a restaurant, and we had the opportunity to have a nice visit in the farm, really get inside their problems, their activity, their challenges, and really students could really explore in a quantitative aspect the importance of having a really stable business plan. Then we end up this first day with a nice visit, guided with a nice guide from local from Riga, and we see really this piece of Latvia which has, I would say, really interesting and sometimes sad story. This is a town where basically is concentrated many of the Latvian artists from where they are coming from. And all the visits was super, except unfortunately the weather that first day was quite challenging as well for all participants. On the second day, which was Monday, 20th of June, we had the opening session of the face-to-face event, and we start to explore and explain students the co-creation event. So we divided students in group, and the aim of the co-creation event it was to propose the most feasible and sustainable solution within the context of managing apple growing tree company. We assign group specific added value product that should strengthening and propose to the scientific commission their business idea in order to convince potential investors, in this case the teaching staff from the Sweda project, to select the ideal solution. And this was also integrated together with the site visit to eventually obtain also some more quantitative information on how to draft the business idea and to propose to potential investor. The 21st of June, that was the third day, we have a really extended site visit to 3 sites. The first site was just new open agro business from a former master student of mine, now PhD of mine, and he decided to start to cultivate sea buckthorn, which is a quite nice product for juice production and as well for pharmaceutical product towards downstream conversion processes. We also get in touch with him, and he explained his full vision and business plan as well for the future, integrating also social aspect within his agro-farming activity. The second site visit was also really interesting because we could explore how people from urban context, they decide to move back to the rural regions in Latvia. The owner of this farm, which does not have animal but basically just forest and arable land mostly, but his main business is to produce a specific drink from sap birch, which is let's say extracted directly from the birch and maple as well. This is a typical liquid with a lot of mineral, which comes during the transitional season between winter and springtime. And thanks to the liquid that he collected from the plant, he created non-alcoholic drink till as well more elaborated drinks, including as well syrups like similar to the maple syrup from Canada. And his experience was quite impressive and enlightening, because actually he said that start from scratch. He wanted to cut his let's say previous life. He was also working in the parliament, but he could get anyway understanding about how to deal with creating a new business. And he really decided to move from Riga, from the urban context, to the rural region, specifically close to the city of Cesis. The third site visit was related to a bit final ending of a nice ending of the third day, where basically would get the opportunity to visit a really important brewery here in Latvia, and they gave us the possibility to understand how somehow historical is the beer production and here in Latvia, and all the owners were really welcoming us and explaining in detail all types of different beer production, and at the end they offer us also nice tasting of 3 types of beer. We are now today here in this nice place in an outside environment. As you can see, we have super nice sunny day, and today is the day where the student groups, they have to present their idea about the co-creation event. It was proposed in the second day. Now all students, they are working, creating their presentation, try to convince, as I mentioned, potential investor to invest on their idea. And we thought that this could be a nice point on how to students can think a bit out of the box, so we don't give them too much requirement. And of course we will try to evaluate as best as we can the results of each group, announcing at the end the group that somehow was more convincing. This is, I would say, the last day of really more heavy practical activity for students. Students will follow now the face-to-face event, having the possibility in the forthcoming days to get more inside the Latvian culture and the Latvian I would say even biological production from farmers, because during this 23rd and 24th of June is the main one of the main Latvian celebration. It's called Midsummer Fest, where basically a lot of small, medium agricultural enterprise, they go to Riga and they somehow share their product at the community. So it's really nice also for students to get inside and also have eventually some Latvian touch of small enterprises within the agro-farming sector. I think that that's all for the overview I wanted to give about this face-to-face event. We, as you understand, did it a bit different from what it was in Perugia, so we wanted to explore some more maybe alternative, maybe not usual solution that students they could see here in Latvia, and I think it was a great experience for me at first, and for students I hope so, but seems all happy. And of course, I think that this kind of approach that we implemented, this Sweda project, seems at the moment quite consistent and I would say promising also to replicate in other contexts and also beyond the project end. So I'm going now to close my speech, and I hope you to see all of you in the next face-to-face event in Witzenhausen. Thank you for your attention.